Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to another LinkedIn live session. Little caveat again, we are pre-recorded today, but that's to allow for a very, very special guest we have on the show. So again, as I said, welcome to Attensi, welcome to our London office. I'm joined today by Tyrone, very special guest. Tyrone, get you to introduce yourself.
Hi, Dean. Pleasure. As I said, my name's Tyrone J. Hylton. Also known as the guy with a hat, and I'm a group operations training manager for SSP.
Love it. And Tyrone, can I ask, how many hats do you own?
I currently have 39 now.
Latest
one from Oslo. So I'm trying to collect a hat from each country I visit.
Amazing. Excellent. We'll have to see what we can do for you.
Nice. Cheers.
Tyrone, I ask you, tell us a bit about your role and tell us a bit about SSP as well.
Okay, so SSP, Select Service Partner. A lot of people will mistake that for statutory sick pay, but no, it's not. So yeah, we're a huge global company that work in food, travel, hospitality. We're based in 36 countries, and we pretty much look after outlets across airports and train stations within those 36 countries. My role, as I said, is a group operations training manager, which is pretty much like an L&D consultant. So I help and support the L&D HR representatives in each of those countries with training, development, content creation and stuff like that. So it's a great role.
Busy role, yeah?
Very busy, but it's one of those roles you love because you're getting to learn every day. And so I've been with the company now for 18 years,
Wow.
But 10 of those years was as a manager.
Yeah.
Then moved into the support functions because I enjoy training and developing, and so I've had a chance to now not just work in the UK but now working internationally with these other countries.
Wow,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
So you get overseas quite a lot.
Yes, when I can, I go with
the air
work.
miles.
Oh yeah, no, obviously as we're pre-recorded. I go where the work is, shall we say?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's nice to travel and again to see different cultures and different ways of learning.
Yeah.
And how do different managers and teams approach training, development and learning in their ways.
Yeah. So Tyrone, that's the phenomenal kind of remit, and we know SSP's a big organisation, and I know the branches, the units, how busy they are because of their locations. So that's a huge remit. So what is it currently using the Attensi solutions for? What's typical training look like?
So for us, I think the main thing we're using it for is probably around customer service at the moment. So one of my projects was around creating a customer service framework and getting our colleagues and training managers engaged with customer service, because you probably know in most places you go in, customer service is important, but there's not really a structure to follow. You pretty much go in and you're told what it's about. You probably get trained in the unit by your teams, by your managers, but not really a real framework.
Yeah.
So with SSP,
consistency is an issue, right?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the objectives for my role was to create a customer service framework that can work globally. So we created a high five, 5 steps called High Five. So I created that framework, training videos, etc., and rolled that out with workshops. But then liaising with yourselves in Attensi, was really the gamification aspect, which was really shone out to me. So we trialled it in Norway and sort of from there rolled it across Nordics and now Austria and Switzerland as well. So we started with the customer service framework, but we're now evolving into different categories as well.
Amazing. So you talked about your training sort of previous to Attensi, and obviously it would ring very familiar in a lot of brands. So that more traditional training, even with those workshops, which we know can carry good engagement, right?
Yeah.
So face-to-face training. What would you say, what's been the standout difference? Obviously you've rolled out in the Nordics. Is there anything that really stands out that's most noticeable compared that traditional training to using Attensi?
I think the key thing for me when I do training is engagement, because the trademark, having been a manager in operations and in support functions, having used to be a manager, when you hear about training and coming to the head office, it's the roll of the eyes, got to go to the head office, got to do training, it's going to be boring. And one of the things that I wanted to change when I came into L&D was to make training fun and engagement. So you want to come, you would enjoy it, you'll take something away. So within the UK, it was a case of, right, okay, let's make it a bit more engaging, make it fun, make them remember it.
Yeah.
And obviously face-to-face is that chance to engage. With Attensi, what I know, especially with Norway, is that it's fun being face to face, but that different style of engagement. So we talk about blended learning, and you've got different options to learn, and everyone does learn differently.
Yeah.
But the fact that you engage someone within a short amount of time, and I think Attensi talk about the impact of the training, and I think with Attensi you have a huge impact in terms of the short, precise training it offers, but it covers so many different elements.
Yeah.
So I think for me the key thing is the engagement and the impact that it offers.
Yeah.
Compared to your standard face-to-face training.
And I suppose being able to measure that impact as well, so it's stand out more noticeable in that, you know, compared to that face-to-face training sometimes, although your learners are left engaged and energised and they've connected with people in head office or the training functions, actually how do you then measure that, right, can be a challenge.
And I think for me it's the subliminal side of it as well. So for example, when we did in Norway, as I said, we used the high five customer service framework, and everyone knows customer service, what it's supposed to be. The customer's always right, which I don't truly believe in. The customer can be wrong, but it's, are we offering the customer the right options, and are we serving the customer in the right way? But I think with the Attensi, and we used the Attensi app for the high five training, it was a case of you get so engrossed with it that you forget that it's training. It's just fun, etc. And one of the examples we did the workshop where we did face-to-face training, but we incorporated using the app during the training. And we did like a sort of a day where we did 6 back-to-back workshops, about 20 people each session. Halfway through, so we did about 60 people already. Lunch break, we went, and those 60 went back to their units. We walked past the units and we seen them on their breaks
still
playing. And straight away we're like, right, it's working. And then speaking to the managers afterwards in terms of how it's worked, it's like it's changed their mindset to customer service, because they're like, right, they remembered in the game they need to do this, etc. Especially with new employees that come in. So again, it's changing the dynamic, changing the mindset, and again that's subliminal, because you're not realising that I'm learning, but I'm having fun with it, rather than sitting in a classroom and saying, right, this is what you must do. It can work, but with the Attensi approach, it's that different perspective which really works.
Yeah, it's great to hear, and that competitive edge.
Oh, definitely.
I've not seen that not come across anywhere. I've seen some raucous customers in the past as well in head office, and particularly when it's making sure that you beat the boss or beat a certain person. Yeah,
I think for us again, back to Norway, we were doing sort of like a focus group. So we knew we'd get the frontline employees engaged, because obviously Generation Z and everyone's on their phones, etc. But we wanted to make sure that the managers and above were involved as well. So we showed them the high five framework, and we showed them the game, Attensi game. And before we started, it was like all rolls of the eyes, and we ain't got time to do this, etc. And oh God. Well, and we've got better things to do. So we had like a 20-minute segment where we gave them the phone and we said, all right, you all load up, here's the leaderboard, you're going to play the game. 20 minutes turned into 1 hour 15 because they were all competing with each other. They wanted to, and like laughing and joking, and straight away they were sold. They were like, right, this works. And we asked them what they took away from it, and it was a case of they were competing with each other, but they liked the easiness of the questions, the different games, etc. But they all learnt something about customer service. And that for me was the win. I was like, right, okay, we can tweak it, we can amend it, but we've engrossed you, we've got you engaged, so, and you've taken something away, so straight away, that's
big
a win.
tick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So Tyrone, I know that you're using our AI tools.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about what you're using this for, or how you found that? What does that journey look like?
So I've always been a fan of AI in terms of what it can offer. And I was recently in Oslo for one of your AI events, and found it really intriguing in terms of understanding what AI can offer. And I think the key thing I took away was that AI is a tool. And obviously I think the common thing you hear in terms of stigma is that will AI replace humans? And I think there was a nice quote that was made from Attensi. They said, well, AI is not here to replace humans. AI will replace humans who don't use AI. And I like that. I thought it's just the perspective of it. And
made you feel safe about your job as well, right?
A little bit, but I think in terms of, it's like anything. AI's been around for years, and I think in terms of comparing it to the latest mobile, they evolve over the time. You can use your old Nokia mobiles, and there are other mobiles available. But if you
use ones with the battery life that long,
exactly.
Right?
But if you use an older one, that's fine. But then you won't be up to date with someone using a smartphone. And same with a laptop, you can keep your old laptop, but latest one. And I think the same with AI. The AI's been around, there's different formats of it. But if you don't keep up with the trend, you will be left behind.
Yeah.
So again, it's a tool. And to answer your question in regards to how I've used it, so as a content creator using Attensi content creation, I found it really beneficial because again, it's using other things like ChatGPT for information and stuff, but using it within the Attensi creator, it's made life easier in terms of understanding content creation, piecing it together, what works, what doesn't, and then different options as well. So it's made the creation style of things much, much easier. And again, giving me a different perspective on my creation levels in terms of what I can do, what I can't do, and what I should do, etc. And I think one of the features, for example, is the AI feedback. So once you put something in and you've created something, you can ask its feedback on what it thinks of what you've done. And I think it's really, really good. I think
it's always positive feedback, though, right?
I'd say constructive. I'd say constructive.
Love it.
But yeah, I think I'm the sort of person. You can always take the pros and cons out of everything, and I think with AI, I think what can it help us with? It's like anything. You can have magical powers. If you decide to use them for good, great. If you decide to use them for evil, that's up to you.
It's all about enhancement.
Exactly.
Right,
and again, because I used to be a manager, the first thing I'm thinking is what can we do to make the manager's life easier?
Yeah.
And I think Attensi ticks that box, and AI is just another tick within that box, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And as an ex-retailer, I always live by that. It is what can you do to simplify and make life easier for the guys that serve in the customers?
Exactly.
If you manage that, everything else then tends to follow.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So Tyrone, plans for the future, next bits, growth. What do you see next?
Well, I'm quite intrigued, especially after the event in Oslo, in terms of not just AI, but I think just gamification as well. So I'm talking around skills, and that's, I think that's the first step. Speak with your colleagues around, what we can use from the behaviour aspect, the process, and also the likes of, is it free from?
Yep.
And fast, and also it's going to come to me. Is it work home or flow? Home? Workflow, yes. Yeah. So those sort of tools, for me, it's how can we utilize them best? What's best for the managers? So, for example, with the workflow, I'm thinking an induction process we can put into SSP for our managers, because again, it will cut down the time for them utilizing, and again, finding what are the best tools for the best regions. And as I work globally as well, it's understanding the different countries, different cultures. They all learn differently, and how can we embrace Attensi and AI to help them? It might not work for everyone, but it's working out what can work and how can we best implement that.
And I guess that's a big thing, right? So you've got regions, you've got countries, you've got different brands as well to provide for, right? And making consistent training across different brands in different areas, and you maybe see AI supporting with that as well, I would imagine. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like you said, we've got many brands. We've got over 500 brands across SSP. So within different areas. So you've got fast food, you've got catering, you've got bars, etc. So, for example, I spoke about customer service, which can hit probably a generic amount of those brands. But then we look like in specific skills, like, for example, chefs. So we're currently looking at a Chef Academy project that we can utilise, hopefully in the UK, through Attensi. So they take them through a journey from, being a porter all the way to a sous chef, but using the Attensi skills. So the plan is hopefully to look into that, and then if that lands, then we look at, okay, what can we do next? So taking away from skills, maybe behaviour, and again process, and then maybe look into more AI stuff as well to enhance those roles. And again, it's more about understanding what the managers want and need, and then what we can use to fill that gap with the likes of Attensi and AI.
Just on that, Tyrone, what advice would you give to anybody? Because for me, that's really crucial. You've just said understanding what the managers want and what they need. What advice would you give to anybody to help discover that? Because it's a big thing, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing as well. What would you advise?
Well, as I used to be a manager, I had the privilege of catching up with old managers and understanding. So I've felt their pain. I know what it's like, and it's sometimes when you're getting information from support functions head office of what you got to do, it's like, do they understand what the operations need to do? So for me, the advice I give is, as I've said to many of my support functions, is understanding the manager. Speak to them first. And same thing with Attensi. Like it's great. It's a new tool. It's amazing. And I think speaking to your Attensi colleagues, the key thing you guys have said to me is about what impact does it have. So, for example, with the customer service high five, Attensi in Norway, it's impacted the customer service results. So from that, I'd say speak to the managers. How has it impacted it? Is it positive in all areas? Is there anything we're missing? And I was speaking to some of the colleagues earlier, and I said about I'll be flying to Zurich soon because we've launched in Zurich in Austria. I want to know, ask the managers, right, is it worked? Great, good stuff. But what would you want to see next?
Yeah.
So it's more about engaging with them and understanding how can we help them rather than, oh, we've got this, use this sort of thing. So that's the advice I would give. My two favourite words are clarity and communication. Is that clear and then communicate. And again, we might think something's great, but it doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
And I think another example is also one of the challenges we have is around the generations. So we know that Generation Z love mobile, quick stuff, the TikTok generation. And that's great, but that's only a percentage. Then, for example, in our UK market, we've got London-based and you go regional outside, and you've got a lot of people.
Huge mix, right?
Huge mix. You've got your millennials, your bloomers, that old school. They just, they like a computer.
Nothing wrong with
that.
Gen X, just for the record.
Exactly, they are other generations available. But it's understanding what works for them. And as I said before, everyone learns differently.
Yeah.
You can have 10 people in a room, show them one thing, and they'll all take the information in differently. So it's just understanding, communicating what works for you, and then obviously finding that best way. And Attensi, I think, ticks a lot of boxes, but I think you guys are evolving to tick many more boxes, and that includes different generations as well.
And I think, listening to you talk, I couldn't agree more. The piece around, again, being digital versus that old traditional paper-based PDFs, the ability to be adaptable and to change is to listen to your shop floor, listen to the guy serving the customer, and be like, you know what, this bit's great, actually this, and being able to tweak that and adapt that and grow and change over time, I think is crucial. Tyrone, I'm going to put you on the spot now because you said loads of great things, but if I was to ask you, how have you found working with Attensi, or what would you say?
I'd say it's absolutely been brilliant, I'll be honest.
I've got no money on me.
That's fine, checks in the post, mate. No, to be fair, it's been eye-opening. Again, I've been told I'm a people's person, don't know where they get that from. But to be fair, working with you guys has been absolutely brilliant in terms of how you've liaised with us, communicated with me in terms of what you do, what you offer, and again, helping the project run along. I mean, one of the things I was scared of, like, you work with many external companies and they're just urgent to sell you their product. Do this. Didn't get that for you guys. It was more a case of, right, this is what we offer, this could work, why don't you try this? Okay, if that don't work, we can do this. And there's been patience on both sides. And I think it's been a good open relationship. And again, I go back to my two words, clarity. I know what you guys do, and the communication, which has been brilliant. And since that, I think I've been working with you guys now for almost 2 years. And we've rolled out for the past year, and I said successful across the Nordics, now Austria and Switzerland, and then hopefully Germany. So yeah, looking to grow further, but I think that's
part of the family now.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the family.
I'll buy some shares and stuff as well. Hopefully. But no, it's been really good. I'm looking forward to the future, and it's been fun as well because I'm learning as well. And I love learning every day, and I said part of why I love my job as well.
It's great to hear, and always growing. Listen, Tyrone, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Tyrone, learning legend, training legend from SSP, and man in the hat, more importantly. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Pleasure.
If you are watching this as we're streaming or you're watching it on record, thank you so much. If you have any thoughts, any questions, anything you'd like to ask myself or Tyrone, or even get in the driving seat of some of our solutions, please do just reach out and connect. But thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much.